take a screenshot of that. Okay, now I need to move to a very important part. Yeah, now we come to the most important part here, which is the practical part. Actually, we are going to have a lot of practice today. Okay. So, number one, ready? We're going to start with exercise number 1. I want to read this passage quickly and tell me what is this passage about. I'm going to skim now. Yeah. Yes, the question is, what is this passage about? What is this text about? The Thames Tunnel, perfect. So the text is about the Thames Tunnel. Okay, short tunnel, which is the Thames Tunnel. What type of question we have? Yes, this type of question, which is true, false, not given, and a lot of people actually make mistakes regarding this question, and a lot of people may find it a challenging one and misleading one. Right? Am I right? Good. So, by the way, this is one of the most repetitive types of questions in the test. Okay, I mean that you may find this type, for example, twice in the third passage, for example. So it's important to know how to do well with this question. So what does it mean by true? What does it mean by false? And what does it mean by not given? Okay. So when I say true, that means the sentence has the same information in the passage. Okay, again, when I say true, the sentence or the question and the passage, both of them have the same pieces of information. Okay? So what does it mean by false? False means the information in the question contradicts or are the opposite or is the oppository of the information in the passage. And not given, and by the way, a lot of people may get confused regarding false and not given. When I say false, I said that you will have information, but the information in the passage, okay, or is the opposite of that in the question. Something rather than that in the question. Okay. And not given, that means the information in the question is not found in the passage. I mean, you have no indication about these pieces of information in the question or in the passage. You have no reference about this piece of information in the passage. So in this case, it's called not found. Okay. Let me tell you something about that. Okay. Let's have a look at this part. Okay, so you read a passage, or imagine that you have a passage about someone whose name is Dr. Yahya, for example. And I said that Dr. Yahya is an English professor. Okay, this is number one. Number two, he has 3 sons. He is into reading science fiction most. Okay. And the passage says what? Dr. Yahya is a professor. He works at KFUPM. He's teaching English. He is married with 3 children, 2 sons and a daughter. And he likes pasta, and he likes reading a lot. He likes reading a lot. Again, Dr. Yahya is a professor. He teaches English at KFUPM. He is married with 3 children, 2 sons and a daughter. He likes pasta. He likes reading a lot. So number one, Dr. is an English professor. Is it true or false here? Number one. Number one is true because but we said we do not find that, that we do not find the word professor. I'm sorry, English professor, yes, but you find something like it, right? When I say he's teaching English and he's a professor, that means he's an English professor. Number two, he has 3 sons. Because this contradicts the piece of information given in the passage. In the passage, it says he is married with 3 children. 2 of them are sons, while 1 of them is a daughter, right? So the information here in the question contradicts that in the passage. He is into reading science fiction most. A lot of you are going to say, yes, correct, because the passage says that he likes reading a lot. But the question is, does the passage specify what kind of genre he likes reading? Just answer my question. Does the passage specify which kind of genre he likes to read? No. So as long as the passage doesn't specify that, I cannot say yes or no. And as long as I cannot say yes or no, then it is going to be considered not given. Not given. I think now it is clear, right? I think now it is clear. Okay. So let me give you another example about this. So Qatar organized the World Cup this year, right? And a lot of people think that this version is the greatest one. A lot of people think that this version of the World Cup is the greatest one. What do you think? So this is the passage. A lot of people think that this version of the World Cup is the greatest one. And you find this question number 4. Yeah, what do you think about this one? This version of the World Cup is the greatest one. Is it true, false, not given? If you say false, that means it is not. Okay, that means it is not. If you say yes, okay, so let me clarify this point. Here we said what? Or the question here said what? A lot of people do what? Huh? A lot of people think. So this is what? This is an opinion. This is an opinion, right? And when I say this version is the greatest one, that means it takes the form, or I give it the form of what? Of fact. It is going to be a fact if we have statistics about that, right? I mean that once the World Cup finished and they brought the statistics that may give or that may verify that this version is the greatest one. So the question takes the form of what? Takes the form of fact, right? So now in this case, the question is going to be considered what? Is or are facts the same as opinion, or they are the opposite? They are the opposite, because opinions are controversial. I mean that while people say that it's the greatest one, you'll find others who say no, it is not. But facts are generally agreed on, right? So they are the opposite. So in this case, I'm going to consider this one what? This is going to be considered false. It is not correct, because actually facts contradict opinions, simply. Okay, clear? I think you got the point regarding this one. Okay? Good. I'm going to give you another example. So I'm going to say what? Look here. Yes, you need to make your mind doing that. So, okay. So let me say that Miss Summer here, the last one. So Miss Summer used to get up early. And the question says, okay, Miss Summer gets up early. What do you think about that? Is it true, false, not given? A lot of you are going to say, wow, it's true, because we have the same. Used to get up early and get up early. So it's going to be the same. Why do you say false? Actually, it's false. You know why? Because when I say used to, that means I'm talking about a habit that was in the past and it is no longer existed. That means Miss Summer quitted this habit. She stopped this habit. Okay? She used to get up early because she has a job. She quitted her job. So there's no need for her to get up early. So Miss Summer gets up early. Gets up early means now. So it's her current habit. But when I say she used to get up early, that means what? I'm talking about what? About the past. Okay, clear? So are the two sentences the same? Are the two sentences the same? No, they are not the same. So in this case, they are going to be considered what? Considered false. Got it? Let's go ahead because we have a lot of questions. So let me reveal the first question. I'm going to give you some time. Okay. And I'm going to give you the chance to answer the questions. So if you answer the question, I want you to give me the justification. I mean, do not tell me true, false, and give it. Just give me where we can find that and what is the justification for that. So I'm going to start with the first question. Okay, so the first question says, the Thames Tunnel was the first tunnel ever built. So look here, what are the keywords? The first tunnel ever built where? Under a river. So this is the key phrase here. So is it true, false, or not given? So here I need to, as I said, analyze. As I analyzed the question, I understood the question. I need to go to the passage now. So if you're ready to answer this question, just raise your hand, please, to let me know that you want to participate. Okay, Miss Ghada, okay. Yeah.
It's true. Because the passage here in the first and second lines, it was said that the tunnel was built under the river, and this is in the second line. The first tunnel ever built, and any believed it.
Okay, just stop here. So we have the word, the first subaqueous, right?
Yes.
So you know subaqueous means what? The word sub means what here?
I think it's
under, right?
Under, yes.
Yes, so sub under, and aqueous read to aqua, which means water, right?
Yes.
So the question now is the information here in the passage the same as that in the question?
I think yes.
Yes, they are the same. The Thames Tunnel was the first tunnel to be built under a river, right? Or underwater.
Yes.
So as long as they have the same information, this question is going to be considered what?
It's true.
Yeah, that's it. And you are right. Great justification, actually. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So it's going to be true. Okay, clear? Now let's have a look at question number 2. So question number 2 says what? The Thames Tunnel was the eighth wonder of the world. Okay, Mr. Hamza.
Oh, yes. No, it's false because it said many believed it was the eighth wonder. Here it's an opinion in the paragraph.
Yes, and we say many believed it was the eighth wonder of the world at the time it was opened. It's an opinion, right?
Yes.
And the passage, or sorry, the question takes the form of what?
As a fact.
Of a fact. So in this case, they are the opposite. And in this case, I'm going to consider this one what?
False.
False. Very good. You did a great job. I think it is clear now, right? Okay, now let's have a look at question number 3. People were drawn from all over. When I say drawn from all over, means what? The word drawn from all over means comes from many places, comes from all over the world, right? To do what? To see the Thames Tunnel. Okay, so what do you think about that trauma? Miss Rama or Miss Hiba? Yes, one of you.
Okay, yes.
Miss Rama, go ahead.
Drawn all over, I just assumed it's like attracted to.
Okay, so where can we find that in the passage, you know?
I couldn't find it. I was going to go with not given.
So what
Because they were said the tunnel was used from people of all classes, but they didn't really say they were drawn from all over to see the tunnel.
It says in the 4th line, people came from far and wide to see the marvel.
Good, Miss Heba. So Miss Heba said what? In which line?
The 4th line.
The 4th line. And people, look here, Miss Rama, and people came from far and wide to see the marvel. Which marvel?
The Thames Tunnel.
The Thames Tunnel, simply, right?
Okay.
Okay, so Miss Rama here, when I say people came from far and wide, does this expression means the same as drawn from all over?
Yeah.
Yes. So as long as it is the same, Miss Hiba, this sentence is going to be considered what?
True.
True. That's it. Yes. It is considered true. Very good. You did a great job, actually. Yeah, thank you so much. I think now it is very clear to you, dear brothers and sisters, right? So you have a clear idea about the mechanism now. So this is the mechanism that I need to follow. Okay, I need to understand the question well. Then I need to go back, analyze the question, and go back to the passage to look for the part that may carry the answer. And then I'm gonna give the answer. Okay, so number 4, question number 4 says what? Okay, so it says, okay, people were able to travel by, so able to travel by sea or land in those days, I mean in the past. Okay, Miss Samra here. Okay. Okay, let me move to, okay, Miss Samra, yes. Hello? Seems you have a technical problem. Okay, let me move to Mr. David.
I believe it's not given.
It's not given. Good. So that means you already searched the passage, but you find nothing, right?
Yeah, I schemed like really fast. I didn't find anything that indicates.
Okay, so let me ask you some questions, and then we're gonna reach or make sure that it is the correct answer or not. So what does it mean to travel by sea?
Like a ship.
By ships or boats, right?
Yeah.
And to travel by land in the past means?
Cars or like
in the past they do not have cars, or they have something like carts.
All right.
No? Yeah. Good. So I want to have a look at Okay. Something from here to there. Okay. I'm going to skim or scan this part quickly, dear David.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. All right. So there's the part that is saying in the age of sail and horse-drawn coaches.
Good, great. You did a great job. So it's here,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
The age of sail and horse-drawn coaches, right? People traveled a long way to visit the tunnel.
Yeah. So it's
let's paraphrase that. Okay. Just take it step by step. Okay. Sail means what?
Rowed a boat.
Using boats and ships, right? Where? In the sea, right?
Yes.
Good. And the worst, and where did horse-drawn coaches move?
On the land.
On the land. So in this case, I'm going to consider this question number 4 what?
True.
True. That's it. So that's why do not rush saying, oh, it's not governed. So you need to read carefully and you need to paraphrase, as I said. So one of them is going to be the paraphrase of the other. I mean, the question is going to be the paraphrase of the text or vice versa. So keep that in mind. Okay. Thank you so much. You did a great job, actually. So number 4 is going to be considered what? True. Got it? Is it clear for you all? Good. Good. So let's move on. Question number 5 says what? The aim. Aim means what? The aim means the goal. Very good. Was to turn profit. Turn profit means what? When I say to turn profit, to gain money, to make money. Very good. As a tourist attraction, you know, the monuments. Okay, I mean that attractive places. Okay, good. So the main goal behind the tunnel was that it is going to be visited by people as a tourist attraction, and these people are going to pay some fees. In this case, it might collect money or raise money, gain money, right? So I want to check that part and let me move to Mr. Muhammad. Yep.
Yes, hello.
Okay. Okay. Yes, Mr. Muhammad. Where can we find that?
I think we can find it at the beginning of how the aim had been for the tunnel to be used by wheeled vehicles to transport cargo, so that it could bring in a profit.
Profit. Good. So the main goal was to be used by what?
Business.
The wheeled vehicles.
Yes.
Right? So this is the main goal.
And I think cargoes used to transport goods.
So forget about this part. Let me ask you one important question here. In the piece of information here, in the passage, the same as that in the question.
No, it contradicts.
No. So it contradicts each other. So they contradict each other. So in this case, I'm going to consider this question what? False.
I think it's false.
It is false, and you are right. The question is false, but you're right. You did a great job. Thank you so much. A nice justification. Okay. I think it's clear now. Now let's have a look at number 6. By the way, 6 is a very tricky one. So I want you to read carefully. Do not get tricked. Statues. You know, statues means what? Statues means, you know, models? A stone craft, okay, or a replica. You know, replica? Miniatures. Yeah, very good. So, for example, when you travel to Mecca, you will buy some replicas of Al-Kaaba or a replica of Burj Al-Sa'a. If you go to Paris, you may buy a replica of the Eiffel Tower. If you go to Egypt, you may buy a replica of the Sphinx or the pyramids. So these are called replicas, and they could be bought as souvenirs. You know, souvenirs means what? Souvenirs means gifts. You know, gift? A gift that you buy to your friend when you travel for a place or something like that. Yes, like a present. Very good. So statues of the tunnel, replicas of the tunnel, could be bought as souvenirs? Could be bought as souvenirs? Yes or no? So let me move to Miss Jawahir. Okay. Hello? 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 Yeah? Are you here?
Hello?
Yes?
Okay, sir. Number 6 is not given because in the next one, two,
Line.
yeah, the next line, it actually says the place is used for tourist attractions selling souvenirs. It doesn't say that it is selling the statue of the tunnel.
But we have souvenirs here, and it's going to be, let me say that, a proof that it is correct. It is true. Some people are going to say, yes, we have the word souvenirs here. What do you think about the word souvenirs?
But the question is the statue of the tunnel.
Good. So does the passage specify what kind of souvenir?
No.
No, and as long as the passage doesn't specify what kind of souvenir, for example, souvenirs of or statues of the tunnel or not, in this case, it's going to be considered what?
False.
Huh? Huh? Not given, as you said at the beginning.
Okay.
I have no proof. I have no evidence whether the statues of tunnels were bought as souvenirs or not. And as I said, because the passage doesn't specify that, so in this case, I'm going to consider that not given. Very good. Sir. Yeah, thank you so much. You did a great job. A very nice justification. Good. I think it is clear now. Number 7 is is a question that requires a lot of concentration, by the way. That's why I said it requires a lot of concentration. The tunnel is no longer. The word no longer means what? When I say no longer, the word no longer equals not anymore. Very good. Used as a pedestrian walkway. People on walkways move. How do they move on walkways? And when I say pedestrian, they walk on their feet, right? To cross the river. So if I want to paraphrase the question, I'm going to say what? Okay? The tunnel is not used by, is not crossed. Okay, or people do not cross the river walking in the tunnel, right? Right? This is the paraphrase, right? Good. So where can we find that? Where we can find that? Let me move to Mr. Mustafa. Yes. Okay, I cannot reach you. Okay, let me move to Nasif. Yes. Yeah. Hello, dear brother. Yes.
It says here that tunnel become part of the London Underground Railway.
Yes, here, right? So the tunnel became part of the London Underground Railway system, which continues to be used today. So can you tell me what is the paraphrase of this sentence, the last sentence that you read?
I said here a real way, so it's not with a strain.
Good. So the tunnel became part of the underground.
Of the underground railway.
Like the metro, yeah? Right?
Yeah.
Underground. Right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
people cannot cross.
Cannot walk.
You cannot walk inside it. Cannot walk inside it. Why? What may happen if they walk inside it?
They would crash with the trains or the
Trains
metro.
moving inside the tunnel are gonna hit them, right?
Yeah.
So the most important point is: can people walk inside the tunnel?
No, they can.
No, they can't. Is that the same paraphrase of the question here?
Yes, this is a thing.
Yes, it's the same, right? The same piece of information, but it is said in another way, right? So in this case,
Yeah.
the sentence is going to be considered what?
True.
True, that's it. And you are perfect. You did a great job. You did a great job. Thank you so much. I think it is clear now, dear brothers and sisters, right? I think now you understood the mechanism that you need to follow to do well in answering this kind of question. So again, for this type of question, yeah, I know it's difficult. It is not difficult actually, but it requires understanding. It requires concentration. Okay, so that's why it looks like mathematics. It is not only a point of language, but also you need to have a deep and careful thinking. Okay? Okay, clear? Thank you so much. And now let's move on. Let's move on. By the way, this is a very academic part. This is very academic part. You may find some, by the way, the questions of the test were not that difficult ones. I mean that, I know that this exercise requires a lot of thinking and it is devised for that. Okay, now let's have a look at another exercise, but this time we're going to have a